or is not going to be affected as much as 2022 and 23. So, but the fact that most of the property tax is coming in and is being paid by the property tax payers and the owners is a good sign, for the funding of the governmental entities, not just us, but all of those. So I'll certainly, the day of reckoning will be the end of the month, December, when all the property taxes are due. And we'll have a final report from Nick, Jordan, the auditor, on how the collections went and what we saw as a drop off. But I'll keep you posted on those at the next meeting. But other than that, I don't really have a whole lot more to report other than, like I said, the things I'll cover in the upcoming resolutions and things like that. But I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for Dave at this time? All right, if not, I'll take a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Jim, second by I'll give it to Marty since he vocalized it on that end of it. All right. Any further discussion or questions for Dave before we move on to vote? All right, we'll proceed with vote. Jim?
Aye.
Marty?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 601. All right. Approval of claims for the month, Dave.
Thanks. And earlier, Jill Knoll should have sent you an email. Hopefully that got through to you. It was of the claims in the register today and the high dollar checks. Just for clarification, you don't, when we're passing things like this at the board meeting, the approval of claims, these are ones you would not have to sign and send back to me. The minutes will be recording your approval, so there's no need for you to sign that. That's under the current regulations we're following with the pandemic emergency. Once that's over, we'll go back to needing to have them signed. But at this point, don't worry about emailing them back to me. Some of you did it after November, and that was great. I appreciate it, but don't worry about having to do that at this point. Again, Jill sent those out. This was for the whole month so far. I think the largest was, again, our self-insurance payment, but OCLC was the top one other than the transfer to the self-insurance. We are seeing a number of our capital projects starting to, be completed and paid that we started, paying from our reserves. The cooling tower there listed is one of those projects at the main, some of the other items. So not a whole lot to talk about on that one. They're all pretty much standard payments that we make.
Okay. Is there a motion for approval of the claims?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Ben. Who is the second? Was that Gloria?
I think so.
All right, great. Second to Gloria. All right, any further discussion or clarification on that? All right, we'll proceed with the vote. Jim?
Aye.
Marty?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Sharon's still absent at this time. All right, moving on to approval of the treasurer's bond. I know this is an annual process for us on this. So go ahead and talk about that, Dave.
Yep. Yeah. The treasurer's bond is still something required by state law. And even though we set it up for the lowest amount of 100,000, because in reality, we are covered, I'm covered under the D&O, the directors and officers policy, which is a $10 million, liability policy. But by law, there has to be a treasurer's bond for this. And so this is for 100,000, and we complete this each year, and then it's filed and recorded and, is set up on the state gateway system, and just to stay in compliance with state law.
Right. Okay. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Okay. Motion by Ben. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, second from Jim. All right, any further discussion? We'll proceed with a vote. Jim?
Aye.
Marty?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. And Sharon is still absent. All right. Moving on to resolution number 2020-9, the resolution to transfer appropriations within the operating fund.
Isn't this nice? You get to listen to me for all these things.
Great.
My apologies, but no, this, as I mentioned earlier, this is the first of the year-end items that happen. This is to, as I've pointed out in the prior months and all, take care of items that are overspending the lines. As I mentioned, primary one was ebook and audio books. You can see we're asking to move 225,000 in for that one. A grand total we had of 364, and just for perspective, last year we needed to move 528,000. So much less this year, just because our spending is so down. And for clarification, this is only needed to transfer into lines that would go over the official budget, not our internal budget. So our internal budget is a much tighter budget, and we keep an eye on that. These are ones that, again, we knew would go over the official budget. So the ebooks, audiobooks, computer services, professional services, temp helpline, things like that. Again, what happens here, I will adjust the budget numbers for the end of the month in December. Your reports next month will have these change numbers on them into the budget figures, and then they will be set up for eventual audit by the state board, and this will officially change the budget, so that they have accurate numbers to work from.
Okay. All right, is there a motion for approval of resolution number 2020-9?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Ben, second by Marty. Any further discussion?
I do have one question. I didn't want David to go unscathed. Account number 3503, which everybody knows is water and sewer services.
That's right.
Over by $3,000.
That's right.
Where did we have a leak?
Actually, that's due to the rates going up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the new, and we've been seeing that over the number of years, because of that agreement that was signed by the EPA and city utilities, the big dig tunnel that's going in, everything, the rates have gone up. So, but ironically then, we did have a leak this year, but I don't think it was $3,000 worth. As Kurt will tell you, the GAMU area, or genealogy material handling, that one of the, I think it was one of the coffee makers or something, burst a line and leaked all over the floor. But it wasn't $3,000 worth, I assure you.
Good, I could sleep tonight. Thank
That's
you.
right. That's right.
All right. Good deal. Any other questions? Discussion? All right, we'll proceed with the vote then. Jim?
Aye.
Marty?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. And I don't see Gloria, or I'm sorry, Sharon yet. So, all right, motion carries on that. All right, authorize the staffing table for 2021. Kendra, would you like to introduce this, please?
Sure. Thanks, Kent.
Yep.
So we bring this to you every year. This is a table that we update monthly based on folks leaving, new hires. We keep rates of pay on here up to date every month. Every December, we bring you what it will look like for January. So this incorporates the 3% increase for staff members. You'll see the 2020 rate, and then you'll see the 2021 rate. I did email you an updated version today at about 1 o'clock. There were some corrections made, and what you received at 1 is the correct version. And so we ask for a motion to approve the authorized staffing table for 2021.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jim and a second by Gloria. All right, any further discussion? All right, we'll proceed with vote. Jim?
Aye.
Marty?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Motion carries. All right, approved continuation of emergency family and medical leave and paid sick leave policy.
So we approved May 5th for the federally required emergency family medical leave and paid sick leave policy. That is due to expire December 31st. The federal guidelines, as well as the policy that you approved, based on a number of different thoughts, and due to the extension of the pandemic, we would like to request that that be extended through January 20th. And that's a board meeting date where we can bring you additional information based on anything that's been extended federally.
Okay. And this takes the approval of continuation through the date that aligns with the county, the current county executive order, right? Or is it the governor's executive order?
This is the Department of Health and Human Services renewed the emergency through January 20th. So.
Oh, January 20th. Okay.
Yes.
I knew it was aligned with something. You might have just said that. Sorry if I missed that.
No, I don't think I stated
Okay.
that, but
Good.
that goes along with that.
But we're asking you to extend it until the board meeting
Right.
on
Yeah.
the 28th, in case
Okay.
we have to act on it again.
Yep. Okay. And then we can decide if we want to act differently or what we want to do on that piece of it. So, okay. All right. Is there a motion for approval of this extension?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ben, second by Paul. All right. We'll proceed with any discussion. Other questions?
This is Marty. I did have a question. I just know that's a Thursday. Is there, Kendra, is there any reason to make it Friday, the 29th, just depending on what we decide to do for you? So it's on the end of the week, or does that not matter for our purposes of giving it to people?
I think the 28th is fine.
Okay.
We'll come to you with what we think we need to do going forward based on guidance. So we should be able to put that into place the 29th. So I think the 28th is fine.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, we'll proceed with the vote. Jim?
Aye.
Marty?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. So motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Kendra, for your help on that. Recognition of 2020 staff retirements. I know I kind of said to Denise at one point that it would be nice every year in the December meeting if we could kind of recognize the retirees who've retired throughout the year, because we don't, if we don't read the right report sometimes, we don't necessarily see that. So I know something's been prepared just to recognize that. But on behalf of the board, we're just very retirements. I know I kind of said to Denise at one point that it would be nice every year in the December. There you go. Thank you, James, for getting that fixed. I was starting to have back flashes to our meeting several months ago. So, but thank you on behalf of the board for your energy and drive for the organization as we do that. Is there, Denise, did you want to say anything else?
Well, I just want to thank all the staff. I know we had a number of staff this year that because of the pandemic, I think made some choices to retire earlier than they might have otherwise. And we really appreciate everyone's service and we understand, why they made the decisions they did. But we really value each and every one of them. And James has a slide presentation that can start moving. So
excellent.
So you can call off each of the retirees.
Do you want me to call them off, or are you going to, Denise? Go ahead. All right. Devon Patton.
62 years.
62 years.
Wow.
62 years.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. With technical services. Okay. Evan Davis, 20 years of service. Business science and technology. Excellent. Thank you, Evan. Carrie Springer, 14 years of service with the New Haven branch. Thank you, Carrie, for your time. Mary Voors, 40 years of service with Children's Services. I know we had the opportunity to be a part of her celebration. So thank you, Mary, for your time and energy. Cynthia Williams with 40 years of service as well from Technical Services. Thank you, Cynthia. Judith Wagner from the Monroeville branch. I have to pause here a little bit because, as a lot of you know, I grew up in the Monroeville area, so I was familiar with Judy, and I may have been shushed a time or two in the Monroeville library. So, and I had a twin brother, so we may have both been shushed as well. But anyway, so thank you, especially Judy, for all your time and energy on me and giving back to the community in that way. So that's very special. All right, Tina Zelt, 31 years of service with the Shawnee branch. Wonderful. Thank you, Tina. Beverly Ellerbrock, with Technical Services, 29 years of service. Wonderful. Thank you. Linda Alberding, Linda with Technical Services of 29 years. Thank you for your time and energy. Karen Pressler, 28 years of service with Technical Services. Wow. Wonderful. Thank you. Marilyn Smith, 28 years. Where I'm seeing a theme here. 28 years is pretty popular. Technical Services. Thank you, Marilyn, for your time. David McDonnell. Thank you very much. 26 years of service with the New Haven branch. Thank you. Dianna Burt, 25 years experience with the Hessen Castle branch. Thank you, Dianna. Judith Burch, 24 years of service with the Hessen Castle branch. Thank you, Judith. Charlotte Vance, 23 years of service with Technical Services. Thank you, Charlotte, for your time and energy. Pamela Martin Diaz, 23 years of experience, or 23 years of service with the Shawnee branch. Thank you very much, Pamela. Carol Prosser, 22 years of experience with Environmental Services. Thank you, Carol, for your time and energy, keeping us looking good every day. Diane McHugh with Technical Services, 22 years. Thank you, Diane. Bambi Keller with the Woodburn branch, 18 years of service. Thank you, Bambi. Richard Renninger, Environmental Services, 17 years of service. Thank you, Richard, for your energy as well, keeping us looking good. Susan Leonard, I don't know if I said that right, but thank you, Susan, for your 13 years of service in Technical Services. Miriam Rose, 12 years of service in Children's Services. Thank you, Miriam. And this is the complete list of everybody that we just talked about. So I've said a lot. Are there any other board members that would like to say something?
Is there anybody else left in Technical Services?
Must be a lot of people in there that do a great job every day to keep things moving along. So Excellent. Well, thank you all for preparing that. I think it's very important for us to recognize that in the service each year. So I think we've added that into our board calendar to make sure that that's something that happens each year, so we can make sure we give the proper recognition for that. So great. All right, we will move on now to the Rowland Center for Lincoln Research update. And this also includes a recommendation of contractor for that project.
Yes, thank you, Kent. Just a quick side note. Thank you, Kent, for making me feel a little better today by knowing that you too were shushed in a library in your younger days. I feel better now.
Yes.
I was more obedient.
Thank you so much for a little bit of your time this afternoon. December has been a busy and very good month for the Rowland Center. So at the beginning of the month on December 4th, we had a bid opening. It was a very good opening in that we had really good bids from 8 local contractors who were interested in the work of deconstructing and constructing the Rowland Center. We had our team at Design Collaborative assist us with the bid opening. Went very smoothly. The estimators from Design Collaborative were really on target. All 8 of the bids came in pretty tight. The week to 10 days after the bid opening, Design Collaborative scrubbed the bids to make sure that they complied and answered all the questions. It was a little back and forth, but Design Collaborative did come out with a memo to me this week indicating that they had a recommendation of the lowest responsible and responsive bid. And so staff is coming to you as a board recommending that CME Corporation be acknowledged by the trustees as the lowest responsible and responsive bidder. Further, staff is asking that with that acceptance of that bid, that the library also accept alternate 1, which was a lighting alternate. The Rowland Center is going to affect some of the lighting in the Great Hall. The alternate was to replace all the lighting. The alternate came in at a really good price. That piece will be funded by the library out of whatever fund Dave identifies as appropriate, but it came in 20% lower than what we thought it would be. So we're recommending accepting alternate 1 as that additional lighting to make the Great Hall look consistent, lower costs, and to also lower the time and energy it takes our maintenance department to change those now 13, 14, 15-year-old sockets that really, obviously they're not LED and they're very challenging to change. We're also asking that we decline, we not take alternate 2 and alternate 3. Alternate 2 was to have a different type of ceiling throughout the Rowland Center. We put that alternate in case the bids were higher than anticipated. They were not. And the second alternate was to change the laminate around the presentation room, the immersion room in the Discovery Center. Again, it was there in case the bids came in high, and we're recommending not accepting that alternate. So in short, staff is asking that the board acknowledge CME Corporation as the lowest responsible and responsive bidder and include accepting alternate 1 with that recommendation.
Okay, is there a motion for approval so we can go into discussion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion from Ben, second from Jim. All right, discussion at this time or questions for Kurt?
So CME is going to do, just so I understand, CME is going to do the lighting as well, or is that somebody else that will be doing the lighting piece you talked about?
They will be responsible for it. They do have a subcontractor, I believe, that's going to actually do the physical work.
Gotcha.
CME is a fine firm. I'm familiar with them. Have they done work with the library's requirements before?
Yes. And further to answer your question, Ben, they have also worked with a number of entities in the community, and they have worked with Design Collaborative, who will be managing the overall project for us as a part of our original contract with Design Collaborative.
Other questions for Kurt? All right, I do also see that we have Sharon present. I don't know exactly what protocol is if she comes in the middle of a motion. Ben, can she vote on this one, or do we need to have her abstain?
Oh, no, she can vote.
She can vote because she's present now. Okay, perfect.
She's here now.
As long as she's heard the motion and the discussion, she can vote.
Okay. Excellent. Sharon, did you have any questions or anything right now regarding that? No. All right. I see you're there. Can you give us, can we hear you?
I think Sharon's screen froze, actually.
Yep, I think it did too. So we'll move forward with the vote at this time. All right, Jim?
Aye.
Marty?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Gloria?
Aye.
Sharon?
Aye.
There we hear you. Thank you. And I'm an aye as well. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
All right. This is exciting, Kurt. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Be great to see. Remind us of the timeline again real quick on this.
So we're going to hit the ground running or continue running. So we're projecting a late spring opening, and this is still syncing up with that late spring opening.
Yep. Okay, good. I thought that was the aim, but you never know what changes. So keep us updated and great work. We look forward to seeing this all come to fruition. So, all right. Report of the interim director. Denise, that's you.
So I do have an item, and I don't know if you want to take this in new business, and it relates to what you just voted on. So in order to keep the project on track, Dave and I and senior staff have talked about this, and we would request that you give me signing authority for the contract so we don't have to bring it back to the board.
That's right. And I actually I told her I would bring that up. We communicated about that earlier, and I forgot to write that down. So this would give her signing authority to be able to keep that moving on that end of it. Is there a motion for signing authority to approve this contract by Denise?
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion by Gloria and a second by Ben. Any further discussion? Okay, Sharon, would you like to call the vote or would you like me to?
I hope I can call it.
Yeah,
can you
go
hear
ahead.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I turned my camera off so it doesn't call the pull too many resources here. So we'll start with you, Kent.
Aye.
Okay, Jim.
Aye.
Gloria.
Aye.
Marty.
Aye.
Ben.
Aye.
And Paul.
Aye.
And I for Sharon.
All right, thank you. All right, now the interim director report.
Okay, so really just a couple of things. So you have in your packets just my short update, and I'll just call out a couple of those things. So with the reduced services, we've pivoted, almost entirely to curbside service, and I wanted to give you some data on that. So our circ is at about 4,800, 4,900 in our first week, and or the number of curbside transactions with circulation at about 17,000. And last week, we were similar to that, about 4,400 transactions system-wide and about 16,000 circulations. So the ratio of items to transaction in the first week was about 4 items per customer. And in the second week, it was about 5 items per customer. So they're benefiting from the increased holds numbers that we've had, and just the amount that they can check out each time. We expect over the holiday for this to drop a little bit, because that's what we've experienced before around holidays, and then pick up again in January. But I can keep you posted on that each month as we move ahead. We continue to deal, and you saw this last week, just with staffing shortages following COVID protocol, and staff member's child getting sick, and then the family having to kind of manage all of that. We've had some reductions in staff and our ability to provide complete service at each location. So we've pivoted around that, and we continue curbside, and we may stop PC reservation if we don't have enough staff to manage it. We just handle that on a day-to-day basis. For instance, yesterday we had an issue at Maine where we didn't have enough security guards, and we just put the gates up in the underground parking so the public could come in and out. So we didn't have to have a guard down there to deal with that. So we're just taking it on a day-by-day basis. Things are better this week, I think, Kendra, than they were last week. Last week was a little stressful for all of us. This week, I think staff are, coming back, and our numbers are up, and they're able to handle the volume of customers that we have. So that's going really well. We had our second town hall, and it was very interesting. I shared this with you last week in the Friday note, but the engagement by staff around hearing about what our outreach services did, audio reading service, and Access Fort Wayne was amazing. I put some comments in there that we received. Staff were really super engaged, so we were pleased. Senior staff was really pleased about that. So I think moving forward, we'll probably try to showcase more of the departmental level work that's happening, because often it's easy to forget that staff don't remember that we have all of these wonderful services, because they do their job and sometimes have a little tunnel vision. So we're going to continue that, because it was really super successful. And you'd also heard the generosity from both the Friends and the Foundation for next year. So we're really pleased about that. And it will go a long way to support our efforts around programming and other services for the library. So I just wanted to call those out. You have our monthly output data, and you have the monthly managers update. And we were able to get a new page up this week, which I emailed you about earlier. And that's the staff's 2 top picks, and they get to pick them. We've gotten that web page up, and we'll continue to update that each month. And staff are really excited about that too, because they get to call out the things that they really want to showcase. So that, I think staff are really engaged with that. So, and I'll take any questions you have about any of the reports.
Denise?
Yep.
I'm just amazed at the generosity from the Friends, especially the amount of money that they're willing to put toward construction of the children's section at the main branch. That just blew me away. And it's such a wonderful opportunity for the community and the number of young children that we have, and that take advantage of that section of the library. So kudos to them.
Yeah, the foundation, and it's interesting because in other libraries that I've worked, some foundations will not pay for building, anything building, they'll pay for services and things like that, and they're very clear about that. So I was pleasantly surprised that the foundation was willing to put their feet in both buckets, as it were, services and buildings, and make that commitment. Because that, when we're ready to do that, pull the trigger on that, that money will come in really handy.
Also, the reports from each of the libraries it was extensive, and it's very eye-opening, and all of the things that go on in a library system is it's not just books, so much more.
I think it's a credit to everyone involved in the monthly managers report. It's incredibly insightful and exciting, as others have indicated. While we're on the foundation, I don't know if it's appropriate at this point. I have the honor of serving on the foundation as a representative of the trustees for a while. Unfortunately, I have a conflict the same day that the foundation meets. I'm involved with a board which I can't get out of, who don't want to get out of either. So I think at some point we should appoint someone else as the trustee representative to the foundation, so we could do justice to that appointment.
Okay. So Kent, did you want to call for a volunteer, or give them until January?
Yeah, why don't we have recommendations? We're going to be approving a new slate this evening of officers, and whoever the new president becomes at that point, why don't we just have the new if you're interested, indicate that to the new president, and then we can make that appointment happen in January.
Okay.
Just for timing, the next foundation board only meets quarterly. The next meeting isn't until March, so you do have a little bit of time.
Okay. Yep. Great. Okay. then that'll work. So any of you who are interested, please indicate that. So we'll go from there. All right, any other questions or thoughts for Denise or the report? All right, thank you, Denise, for that. All right, let's move on to committee reports. First one up is Director Search. So Ben.
Thank you. Well, your search committee has been busily working away, screening resumes, doing interviews via Zoom, and has narrowed the group down to 4 from quite a wide array of potential candidates. You may have read in this morning's Journal Gazette the description of the 4 individuals. The search committee will be meeting next week with each of them for a 1-hour in-depth interview, after which it will decide which, if any, should advance to the final stage. Reference checks, preliminary reference checks are being done as we speak. The information regarding the candidates has been distributed to the friends, to the foundation members, board of the foundation. You've received an email from Stephanie, those of you that are appointed by specific entities, to inform the entities. I know some of us have done that already, but to keep them in the loop. And yesterday there was a meeting of senior staff as well as branch managers. I've not gotten any feedback, but for those that were there, Kendra, were you observing, and how did those meetings go?
Sure. So we had 3 different groupings. So direct reports, which I was the moderator for that group. And then we had public service managers. Jo Beth was the moderator for that group. And then department heads and Karen moderated that group. So they all took place at the same time. We each got to have conversations with each of the 4 candidates. I have received really good feedback. I think things went well, and they're providing their feedback via a link that will go directly to Bradbury.
Good. So that's the process as we know it now, with some hard work and a bit of good interviewing. Hopefully we will have a candidate to recommend shortly.
Excellent. Thank you, Ben, and the committee for all your work on that. We did receive a doodle poll today for those who might not have seen it yet, regarding setting up, if there's anything needed for next steps, another meeting for that. Just wanted to make sure that we respond timely to that to be able to get that on the books if that's appropriate. So if you haven't done that yet as a board member, please do so. All right, the next committee would be the nominating committee, and Sharon was the chair of that one. Sharon? You're muted, dear. There we go. Did you hear that that is the quote of 2020? They always have an annual quote. I can't remember which magazine, is it Time or who is it? But that's the quote of the year. You're on mute.
It fits. I've been muted a lot too. Some others. The nominating committee met, and we have presented a slate to the to President Kent and the board. I saw an email went forward on that, but I'll go ahead and provide the names of the committee. And of course, if anyone would like to volunteer themselves, that's always an option. But for 2021 slate, we would like to present for president and chair, Ben Eisbar; for vice president, myself, Sharon Tucker; and for secretary, Gloria Schminoff. I'm sorry, Gloria.
It's okay.
Schminoff, for secretary. And that is our slate for 2021.
And do we need to officially say that Dave is the treasurer? Obviously, on that end too. I'm not sure how that all works, but.
And Dave as treasurer.
There we go.
Well, I would like to I guess, do you introduce or approve that slate? I will say a couple of quick things. Ben, you've done a phenomenal job and put a lot of time in on the director search, and it's greatly appreciated. But I also think that you're really probably the perfect person with a new director coming in to have as board president next year. So glad that you all came up with that list. I think it's great.
All right, so is that a motion from you, Paul, to accept the slate?
Yes. Yep, move to approve.
Is there a second?
This is Marty. I will echo Paul's words, and I will second.
All right, excellent. Second. Any further discussion? All right, Sharon, please proceed with the vote.
Absolutely. Roll call vote. We'll start with Ben.
Well, I'm honored and thank you. And if nominated and elected, the inauguration will be held outside at Headwaters Park. You'll all be getting invitations.
As long as you're buying food and drinks, Ben will be there.
I'll be there.
Kent.
Aye.
Gloria.
Aye.
Paul.
Aye.
Marty.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
And I think I've gotten everyone, and myself, Sharon, aye.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for being willing to serve, and it's great to have the next level of leadership come in, so wonderful. Okay, moving on to other business. Is there any other business to bring forward at this time today?
Well, before we close, thank you for all that you have done. It's been greatly appreciated. There have been times that it's been a little tense. You've handled yourself well, and you have a positive attitude, and that is so much appreciated. And I think it's also commendable for the rest of the board members that we do have, our heart is in the right place for our Allen County Public Library. It's a gift to all of us, and we want to keep it secure. And thank you for all your time and effort.
Totally agree. Great job, Ken.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And I have enjoyed it. And I'm still on the board, so you can't get rid of me. So. All right, I didn't hear any other business officially to come forward, so we thank you for your time. There is an opportunity if you're joining us as a member of the public. If you wanted to submit any public comments, you can do that to the trustees@acpl.info. Again, that's trustees@acpl.info. And as a lot of people know, those go right to us as a board, and then we respond back with our responses. So we look forward to seeing any comments or questions you have. And with that, we will stand adjourned until the January 2021 board meeting of the Allen County Board of Trustees.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays all.